Alright everyone, and just a fun video in my mini series of what if Candace Young became First Lady. Now in my other videos I talked about, her passing gay rights for marriage and equal, equality and whatnot just to get under Veronica's skin. Then in another video I talked about, the possibility of Tyler Perry taking it to the next level by doing a scandal-like spin-off series with Candace Young in the White House. And in this particular video, this will be my third and final one for now. It really depends on if you all comment with different scenarios in my videos. I can do more videos on this topic, but let's talk about the one that most people commented on, not just on YouTube, but on Twitter and Facebook, that Candace would just screw things up faster than she can actually enact any of her schemes, because given the fact that Charles or Chucky called her out for her crap right off the bat, it's like, right where she felt like she was in control the entire time with blackmail, recording him, getting him to do what she wanted. He pretty much shut that down the moment Secret Service came into his hotel room. It's like, I had Secret Service look up everything on you before I even sat down at that table in the bar to even talk with you at the first time. So when it comes down to it, Candace Young is playing in an entirely different game. It's like the analogy of jumping into the deep end of the pool without even learning how to swim is an understatement to the level that she is playing at right now. And Oscar has told her time and time again, we need to work together, or hey, if you're trying to do this alone, it's not going to work because you're used to like these street thugs and these city level officials, but you're dealing with people at a much higher pay grade with much more control than you can even imagine. So Charles made it clear that I can trust you so long as I'm the one who's in the power seat. And I can definitely see that Candace would try to knock him out of that chair of power no matter what. And I think Chris Rock made this joke in one of his stand-ups. I think it was one of my favorite ones, actually. Don't kill the messenger. When it comes down to having a black president, that's the problem, because he can't have a black wife, because it's not that you won, it's we won. It's like, he talked about how black women don't want to be on the sidelines. They want to be playing the game. So I could definitely see that joke lived up through Candace Young in terms of she can't just be this black Barbie doll. She's got to be on the field as well. And I could see that happening. There's no way she could play second fiddle to somebody else, especially with that much power at her grasp. I could definitely see her trying to blackmail. Can you imagine Candace Young, being at like the United Nations or whatnot, where you have that huge meeting with all the different representatives from countries around the world? Can you imagine her trying to sex up some guy from like China or something like that? It would, oh man, I could see that being used to the U.S.'s advantage depending on the scenario. It would be like Trump with Charles. It would be an interesting concept. But I feel like if Candace does get dolled up, because that's Landon's job right now by Charles to check in with Candace, get her ready to be First Lady, clean up her history and whatnot. It's pretty much like deleting her internet history and then giving her a brand new computer for a fresh start. But it reminds me of that movie My Fair Lady, where you get some vagabond from the streets and try to dress her up to play the first class woman, but you can dress her up no matter what, but you'll never be able to change the person she is inside. And that was another comment that was regularly showing up in my newsfeed or timeline, that no matter what, Candace Young is Candace Young, and that cannot be any further from the truth. Because no matter what, even if she can play the role of First Lady, that's not going to change the fact that she's still Candy Cane. I mean, yeah, Charles can have Chucky on the side, but he's still Chucky on the inside. He's just playing the role. So with that being said, I definitely do relate to a lot of people calling out Candace for, if she tried to be First Lady, it wouldn't last. And I kind of agree with that, because it reminded me of if you ever played video games, Injustice. I think it was Injustice 2. Each character has their own different end story. And for Catwoman, Selena College, her and the Bat finally got married, but then she ended up leaving him because she couldn't leave this cushy life. Their lifestyle was more fun when it was just them playing, well, bat and mouse, so to speak. You know, they were living behind the mask, you know, Catwoman and Batman. It was the chase that was thrilling. But when she finally, and, you know, her stealing, but when she finally had their lap of luxury from one of the richest men in the world, and, you know, finally had him, the thrill was gone. So she went off to another adventure. I feel like that's the same thing with Candace. She can have a squeaky clean past being with one of the most powerful men in the world, but that wouldn't be enough for her, because for me, in my mind, Candace wouldn't be in control. It would be power, but it would be too many people watching her when she's used to living in the shadows. So I feel like that would be one of the main reasons where either Candace Young would walk away from it all, or she would just get busted in a scheme and then just get thrown out of the White House. So with that being said, you know, this was a fun miniseries, and this miniseries will continue based off the comments on these 3 videos. You know, let me know, are there any other what if scenarios that you can think of? If Candace Young were First Lady, what kind of trouble would she get into? So as always, be sure to like this video, comment your thoughts, subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.